Good morning, everybody. It's JP the Outlaw here to give you my review for SmackDown Live, June 20th, 2017. They kick off the show with Carmella. You know, she's talking shit about how she won the Money in the Bank, even though she really didn't win. She comments on how Ellsworth went up there and passed her the title, letting everybody know that she just doesn't give a fuck how it went down. She's just happy to be champion. Which you should expect. You shouldn't expect Carmella to feel any remorse on that. She's a heel. Doesn't make any fucking sense. And then two, why didn't she cash it in if they was planning to take it away from her any fucking way? Just saying. All throughout the Money in the Bank, it's unacceptable. We'll handle this on Monday night, on Tuesday nights, and so on and so forth. Also, I just want to say it's a different element when Daniel Bryan's around, and you can see it throughout the show. You know, Daniel Bryan has his way of putting his stamp on a SmackDown show, and you could tell throughout this whole show, it was mostly Daniel Bryan, and you knew somebody was going to touch on the issue of his baby girl. That was held until later that night. I didn't think it would be Ellsworth, though. I thought it would have been like Kevin or somebody worth saying it. You know what I mean? So, somebody start the hashtag Fire Ellsworth. He's been there long enough. His 15 minutes of fame is over. And you know what? It wasn't even worth it when he had it. Fire Ellsworth. It just doesn't make sense. Backstage segment with Daniel Bryan. Carmella's back there talking to him about how everything went down with the women's contest, how she feels about it, as far as the women's first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. And you know, Daniel Bryan's like, look, man, I gotta wait to see. I just heard what Carmella said. I'm gonna give you a decision at the end of the night. At this point, second segment in, I'm like, it sounds like Daniel Bryan's on their side, Carmella's side. However it went down, this has never happened, but she's not wrong in how she won. So that's pretty much the end of that segment. Going to the first match with the New Day versus the Usos, a rematch from Money in the Bank. And, you know, the New Day cut a promo right before the match, talk about how the Usos were scared to be in their own penitentiary, you know. So now the New Day has renamed it the Playground, their playground. So if, you know, you want to come in and get on the Jungle Jacks, you got to go see the Warden. And the Warden is Big E, and he has a big pole, apparently. That's what Kofi, I think it was Kofi or Xavier Woods said that about Big E. Of course, these guys pick up the win. Again, I don't mind the Usos losing. They've been so dominant in the tag team division on SmackDown. I don't mind them losing at all. So, that goes into the next segment, which was backstage segment with Daniel Bryan, Stephanie McMahon, Naomi, and Tamina. Daniel Bryan's on the phone with Shane McMahon, just going over, you know, how they feel about what happened last night. At this point in the show, I'm like, okay, they're gonna reverse this decision. I knew then that they was gonna reverse it. I felt that way all week about Money in the Bank. Like at some point they gotta reverse this shit because it's getting a lot of heat. And I think that's why they did it. They did it to get that shock value, that 1,001 tweets about how Ellsworth won the females' Money in the Bank. So I knew that was going to happen regardless. Natty wishes Daniel Bryan a happy Father's Day, being a brand new father. But again, this is where I say Natty's not a good heel. You can leave Natalya as a kick-ass babyface. She goes in there, she handles her business in the ring, Stop all this, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be shit from Bret Hart. Stop that shit and start living in your own world. I think Charlotte did it in the beginning of her career. She didn't accept her father's status until she got to the main roster, and they played off it. You get what I'm saying? In NXT, Charlotte was just Charlotte. Yeah, we knew she was Ric Flair's daughter, but she was just Charlotte. It wasn't though. All right, this is my background. This is my family background. These are the ties that I have, and this is the moniker that I'm running with, that my family has already established. It was none of that. You know, Tamina was pretty much back there making background noise. Didn't add anything to this segment. Again, this welcome them committee thing, if y'all still going to do that, you can still do that. I could do without Carmella being in it, because at this point, why does she need to be in it? You've already gave her the women's Money in the Bank. She's promoting herself very well in the ring. She still looks like a man, but once you get past that, I think she'll be all right. Once you look past the fact that she looks like a man. Okay, another backstage segment with Naomi and Lana. Naomi chimes in on how she feels about Carmella winning the Money in the Bank. Also takes a shot at Carmella. You know, she says, Carmella is disrespectful to the women's division on how she won the match. If you had any respects for the 4 women that you were in the ring with, you wouldn't have let it go down like that. Lana comes out and said, I was distracted. My loss really shouldn't count because that loss was only there because of Carmella. And, she challenges Naomi to a rematch. Naomi grants it and said, you know what? You want me to do this shit one more time? I'll kick your ass again. It's going to be next week. So next week, you got Lana versus Naomi for the women's title next week. So that's going to be interesting. I'm waiting to see what the fuck they do with Rusev. Randy Orton in the interview segment, he talks about his loss at Money in the Bank. He says it was very disrespectful. The disrespect for Randy is real. And, he lost track of what he was doing inside of the ring after Jinder Mahal's cronies put their hands on his dad. You can't blame Randy for that. That's actually playing into the babyface persona. That's supposed to happen. The reason why I didn't go over well with Randy, because you can't see Randy as a fucking babyface. You got to keep Randy heel. Some of his best work came at the tail end of him turning heel a second time. And they just kept it that way. Of course, until I believe Christian came around and they gave Christian the title, which he turned babyface for to pass the title off to Christian. So I like the interview segment. Randy's on Jinder Mahal's ass, man. It's not over between these two. I would have ended it right here. Okay, fuck background. What is that? Battleground. Fuck Battleground. Battleground could have been the start of him and John Cena. Let Jinder Mahal get an official win over John Cena. I don't care if it's dirty. I don't care if it's clean. But the fact that he beat a champion on that level, and John Cena is on a different level. The fact that he beat a John Cena would have its own amount of shock value. You get what I'm saying? Just like Randy, when he beat Randy the first time, nobody thought he was going to beat Randy. Nobody thought that, in the months building up to that Randy was going to come out looking strong or anything like that. Everybody was like, okay, you put it on Jinder, I can probably deal with it. I think, again, his win-loss record is horrible. And I think that's the major problem with Jinder Mahal. Too many losses. Nobody can literally think of him as a credible champion. Now, you have him beat a John Cena. You have him beat those major names that you got over there on SmackDown. And let's see what happens. Let's put Big Show on SmackDown, by the way. He's not happy on Raw. Let's put him on SmackDown. Give him a little bit more creative control. Just saying. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler, second match of the night. I actually think this match was better than their first match at Backlash. And I'm giving it match of the night. Because it just made more sense to what they were doing in the ring. The constant back and forth. Ziggler over the top hits what's his name with a zigzag after he went for the inverted suplex. You know? I think that the story that they told in the ring this time was better than the first time. And, you know, I know that he met up, had a couple of matches on the dark match. Sometimes it takes a couple of matches for a guy and another guy to click right. And once they click right, they can do some damage in that ring. And I think that's what just happened with Dolph Ziggler and Shinsuke Nakamura. I think that was his best match. I think since Money in the Bank, since that angle with Baron Corbin, you got to look at Shinsuke Nakamura in a different light now. You got to look at him as the king of strong style. Not this rock and roll bullshit. Not the pyros, none of that. Look at him as the king of strong style. And it'll be a better performance every fucking time. Let the crowd come out. Let him come out and let the crowd sing with him. You seen the fucking reaction he got at Money in the Bank? You can't deny that fucking Shinsuke Nakamura is a big name, and a big name in a small pond, mind you. Give him time, and I think he's going to be one of the biggest champions that the WWE has ever seen. Ever. Another backstage segment with Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, and Becky Lynch on where she stands as far as the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Now, I like Becky. I like Becky a lot, and she's just in this. I think this segment did nothing for her. I think she came off a little crybaby-ish, little. Oh, it's not going my way, and I just don't understand why. You know, but all in all, again, Becky Lynch, I could have dealt with Becky Lynch winning. I could have dealt with that. You know, submitting her second title reign, I would have dealt with that. I think she was the last woman to climb up the ladder before Ellsworth. So, Becky has hit a rut, and she went to Daniel Bryan for some fucking advice. And, you know, Daniel Bryan is the king of the ruts. He's the king of overcoming what the WWE creative staff is doing to him. He's the king of that. So who better to give her advice? You got Sami Zayn. He's talking to Sami Zayn about him going up against Baron Corbin next week. So that's going to be on the card as well as Lana and Naomi for the women's title for next week. Third match of the night, Kevin Owens with an open challenge. Okay, AJ Styles comes out first. Kevin Owens is like, look, man, this is an open challenge for anybody from a hometown. If you're not from this hometown, you can't be in this challenge. Out comes Chad Gable from American Alpha. He's like, look, man, I just moved here, and I want a title shot. And before the match could even start, you know, AJ's like, start the match. Belkeep starts the match. These guys go at it for a minute. I like Chad Gable. I like his in-ring ability. I think that I would definitely keep American Alpha together because they've done nothing since winning the tag team titles. Keep them together, throw them on Raw. At least you can give them a tag team title shot. You got Kurt Angle there. You got Shelton Benjamin coming back. He might still go to SmackDown. Hell, if he go to SmackDown, you can make a brand new Team Angle. And you can have Shelton Benjamin be the front runner of the new Team Angle. But, of course, Kevin Owens picks up the win. Kevin Owens is a beast, by the way. All fucked up from last night. He had to be helped out of Money in the Bank. All fucked up on Sunday. He got some rest. Went back to work Tuesday. And you can see why they gave him the Universal title from the jump. He's a hell of a worker. A hell of a worker. If you can work through injury, I think some of the injuries they get is very devastating. But other ones is like, come on, man. Kevin Owens is out there with a broken thumb and an injured shoulder, and he's putting on 5-star matches. Come on, man. Come on. The other motherfuckers was out for turf toe. Also, you got the Hype Bros